Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into an incredibly clear step-by-step mathematical roadmap for completely escaping the 9-to-5 grind. We'll be breaking down entrepreneur Mark Tilbury's exact strategy on how to achieve true financial freedom, even if you're just in your 20s. If you've ever felt like you're running on a treadmill financially, just never getting ahead, this is exactly what you need to hear. We've got 5 key steps to cover: escaping the hamster wheel, finding your freedom figure, hacking your lifestyle expenses, mastering credit and extra income, and finally, the true function of money. Let's get right into it.
Step 1. Escaping the hamster wheel, or breaking that $2 an hour grind.
So, to actually escape, we gotta look at where this all starts. The source material shares Mark's personal story. He actually dropped out of school at 16, taking an apprenticeship making wooden trash cans for literally $2 an hour. He looked around at his coworkers, saw them just going through the motions day after soulless day, and realized, wow, if I don't get a real structured plan, I'm gonna be stuck on this exact same hamster wheel forever. Hoping for things to miraculously get better just isn't a strategy, right? Planning is. Which brings us to step 2, finding your freedom figure and crunching the numbers for your dream life. Look, before you can be free, you've got to know what freedom actually costs. We need a solid baseline. Let's look at a totally realistic, slightly upgraded young adult lifestyle. Say you want a nice Miami apartment for about 30 grand a year in rent, driving a Porsche 911, taking 3 mid-range vacations, plus, the boring stuff, utilities, food, health insurance, and just having fun on the weekends. It's actually wild how fast everyday desires and regular bills add up over 12 months. Add all that up, and you hit this baseline total, $75,245. That's the exact yearly budget required to live that specific dream life, completely free from having to work at 9-to-5 job to fund it. Now, here is where it gets really exciting. Enter the rule of 25. This is literally the magical math that bridges the gap between your yearly expenses and your ultimate lifetime goal. You just take that annual lifestyle number we figured out and multiply it by 25. That formula tells you the exact total invested amount you need, so you can safely withdraw enough to live on every single year, basically without ever running out of cash. So let's do the math. Our roughly $75K budget times 25 puts our exact tangible freedom figure at just under $1.9 million. For a lot of folks, seeing this hard number is a total game changer. It takes all the mystery out of getting wealthy. It's not a vague pipe dream anymore, it's literally just a math problem. You really need to think of that $1.9 million as your golden goose. The absolute golden rule of wealth is that you can take the eggs, meaning those annual returns your investments generate, but you never, ever eat the goose. The explainer points out the S&P 500 has historically averaged around 12 to 14% returns over the last decade. And yeah, sure, past performance doesn't guarantee the future, but the principle is rock solid. If your investment yields more than you take out, your main stash stays completely safe, paying you forever. Okay, but obviously you don't just wake up with $2 million in your checking accounts. To start growing that golden goose, the source highly recommends a strategy called dollar cost averaging. You use modern investing apps to buy fractional shares, and you just automatically invest the exact same amount of money on a regular schedule. Up market, down market, it literally doesn't matter. This averages out your costs over time, and honestly, it stops you from making the classic emotional mistake of trying to time the market and accidentally buying in at the absolute peak. Moving to step 3, hack your lifestyle expenses. Basically, living well while spending a whole lot less. If we want to hit that freedom figure fast, we gotta plug the holes where your cash is just silently leaking away. And no, I'm not gonna lecture you to skip your morning coffee or eat plain rice for dinner. We're talking about smart, painless swaps. Take brand hacking, for example. Say branded cereal is $4.25, while a generic store brand is just $1.66. Make that swap and you save $2.56, and you actually get nearly twice as much food. Plus, let's be real, you probably can't even taste the difference. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, $2 isn't gonna make me a millionaire. But remember, wealth is all about math and compounding. That tiny $2.56 daily habit, it compounds into over $4,600 saved over 5 years. It just proves that tiny, almost invisible changes yield massive results over time, all without you having to sacrifice the stuff you actually enjoy. And there are a bunch of other killer hacks mentioned. There's car hacking, buying quality used cars right at the bottom of their depreciation curve, so you dodge that trap of a $734 average monthly new car loan. House hacking, renting out a duplex or an Airbnb room so your tenants literally pay your mortgage. Tax hacking, legally keeping more of your cash in accounts like a US Roth IRA or a UK ISA. And of course, deal hacking, never ever accepting the sticker price and using hard data to negotiate.
Step 4. Credit and extra income, or what we like to call the stool with extra legs.
So, shifting to playing offense and really securing your income. There's a brilliant analogy here. Think about it. Relying totally on a single 9-to-5 job is exactly like sitting on a one-legged stool. It is inherently unstable. If that one leg snaps, like say you get laid off, you hit the floor instantly. And since statistics show the average person cycles through about 12 different jobs in their life, relying on just one income stream is a ridiculously risky way to live. We need to build some extra legs for that stool.
I know, the first excuse everyone makes about starting a side hustle to build those legs is, I am just too busy. But the math brutally dismantles that excuse. Look, we all get 168 hours a week. If you sleep 8 hours a night, work a standard 40-hour job, and spend over 20 hours commuting and eating, you still have over 50 hours of pure free time every single week. The math doesn't lie. You absolutely have the time to freelance, start an e-commerce store, or learn a high-income skill.
Finally, step 5. The true function of money and shifting into a wealth mindset.
To actually achieve that freedom figure, you need a massive mental shift about what money is actually meant to do. The contrast in mindsets is wild. The poor usually view money just as a tool to pay bills. The middle class sees it as a way to build credit to take out even bigger loans for flashier cars and bigger houses. But the wealthy? They operate on a completely different frequency. They see money purely as a tool for expansion. To them, money isn't meant to be spent, it's meant to be deployed to make even more money.
To get into that expansion mindset, the source suggests taking that extra side hustle cash and parking it in assets that do the heavy lifting while you sleep. The big recommendation is index funds tracking the S&P 500 for that core, steady growth. They also mention putting a strict 5% cap on high-risk, high-reward stuff like crypto. And of course, leveraging real estate as the ultimate long-term wealth builder. The entire goal is that eventually your money is working way harder than you ever physically could. So we've walked through the math. We've gone from calculating that $1.9 million baseline to finding an extra 50 hours a week to actually make it happen. The roadmap is literally laid out right in front of you. So the only question left is this. Are you ready to stop making excuses, stop working for your money, and finally build the machine that makes your money work for you? Take this math, run your own numbers today, and start building your golden goose.